Hello, everybody. This is Jim Feist in Las Vegas, and it's Happy Wednesday morning. Hank Goldberg is here with me from sunny South Florida. Hank, good morning.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. A little tired today, but we're up and at it. We've got basketball, and tomorrow we have someone new joining the picture. Major League Baseball opens their season.
Yep. That'll be interesting to see what happens with the opening of the baseball season. I talked to a producer from ESPN who's going to be in LA for the opening there, and you got the ace going, I guess, for the Dodgers, who always has trouble with San Francisco. Let's see what happens there. Kershaw, I guess, will be pitching against San Francisco.
Yeah.
That'll be a great watch. So here in Miami, the Marlins will open against the Cubs. Good luck.
Yeah, that's Lester.
Marlins got a, they're not bad off enough, but they got a bunch of guys hurt to start the season with.
Yeah,
So
Lester opened 190, 195, 185 over Miami in that game. You got a lot of great openers. You know, there's going to be some weather, and you have to take into consideration these guys are going to be playing in some weather. They moved the starting date up into March now, and you're bound to get some bad weather. So you got to look for these teams and these players being able to warm up and stay warm, and it's going to be a little bit different playing in cold weather after they've been working out in warm weather in the warmer regions of the country.
I'm anxious to see what the Mets do tomorrow. Also, the Yankees are without their first baseman. And they're a little, I'll see what Sabathia does in that cold weather to open the season.
Actually, Severino's listed.
Actually, I guess they're going to be in Atlanta to open, so it won't matter.
Who are we talking about? The Mets? Oh, the Mets. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Yankees, Sabathia, I guess, will be the opening day pitcher, and
That's not.
we'll see how far he can go.
Actually, what I'm seeing here is it's Severino.
Oh, it's Severino? Okay.
And they'll be in Toronto. They're at Toronto.
Yeah, well, which is inside, so.
Yeah. Yep. Got some of the big boys are out there starting the season. The top pitchers, the big names. Syndergaard for the Mets. You know, the Verlander for Houston. Sale for Boston. Got some big boys going out there first day. Scherzer for Washington.
I like Boston to start with.
That's a nice 167 price. You know, I'm reluctant to lay big prices in baseball. It's especially early in the season. And if the pitchers aren't going to go more than 5, the starters, you're better off playing the first 5 innings, or even playing the totals, team totals, or totals for the game for both sides. There's a lot of ways to play baseball, and if you lay these big prices with these starting pitchers and only get 5 innings out of them, then you go to the bullpens and you don't know what you're going to get out of that.
Well, most of the hitters get off the slow starts, so that'll be interesting.
True. We got some basketball games last night. We had Penn State winning and Utah winning. They move on to a Thursday game, and that is Utah. It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock here.
Penn State can really shoot in the Garden, and they played there before, and Utah hadn't until last night. But Utah came through. They're a tough team, and Penn State can really shoot the rock, so that'll be an interesting game.
The game open, Penn State 3, it's up to 4.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The game open, Penn State 3, it's up to 4.
Yeah. Well, I think Penn State's a better shooting team.
Should be interesting. It should be a good, and the rules that they're playing in the NIT with widening the lanes, moving the three-point shot back, playing quarters instead of halves, which resets the fouls. I like the changes. I think it helps the game.
Well, teams that get off to a fast start in those games have been doing pretty well, and that's been Penn State every game.
Yeah, they played well. And if Villanova holds up, and if Penn State wins and Villanova holds up, you're going to have all the champions coming out of the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, Villanova's loaded, and they've been winning every game by a big margin.
Yeah, they have.
And the one thing about Villanova is Brunson's got to stay in the game because they don't have a backup point guard. And so that's one concern for them. But other than that, they can defend. But they're going up against a Kansas team that has a lot of balance. And if Villanova plays like they did against the Texas team, they're going to lose because they did not shoot well from outside that game. And their opponent just didn't have scoring power to keep up with them. But if they don't shoot well from outside, Kansas is going to control the boards against them, and they're going to get into transition, and they will do very well in transition because that's their game. So that's where Villanova is going to be key. They're going to have to play better than they did last weekend.
The funny thing is, they didn't play that well. They still won by 12 points.
Yeah, but they played against a team that can't score.
True.
They played against a team that was a grinder. Kansas can score. What's interesting to me, the game tonight, a team that was averaging 90 points a game got shut out on the road. Now they're going home. And, I know that, the Kentucky team is good, but they're going on the road this time. And I think they're getting 3 points, but we'll see if their opponent can turn it around at home. They can score when you're on their game.
You said Kentucky. You mean San Francisco?
No, I'm talking about tonight's game.
Tonight's game. Well, we have 3 games tonight. We got Illinois, Chicago at Liberty, San Francisco, North Texas, and Sam Houston.
Yeah, San Francisco at North Texas.
Right. Yeah, well, they got off to a hot start. They hit every shot. The other team was cold. They got a big lead. North Texas made a run at the end, but the game was won in the first 10 minutes. And
yeah.
North Texas is going to come with a pretty big effort.
They were averaging over 90 points a game going into that one, and they just couldn't hit anything. Now they're home. They could easily turn it around.
The NBA, we talked a little bit off air about the NBA. There's a couple moves in the NBA I'll bring up right now. Orlando opened a 3-point favorite. Now they're a 2.5-point dog to Brooklyn. And Cleveland, of course, suffered another injury. Love got a concussion. He's in concussion protocol now. And this guy's had some bad luck this year with injuries. But they opened a 3-point favorite at Charlotte. Now they're a 1-point dog. They're the 2 moves that I see. We're coming down to the end. You got some tankers, teams that are just not trying, and then other teams that are jockeying for position. But in Cleveland's case, I don't think they care. I think they've played the season that way. LeBron's a horse. This guy plays every game. He puts out a lot of effort. The guy is an amazing athlete, and hats off to him. He's a great athlete, great player. I don't think he can carry this team to a championship, but he is a great player. There's some, the East is weak this year, and the West has got the strength. The Warriors got banged up players right now, so they're going to probably have to go the first series without Steph Curry, and but they have quite a few other players that can chip in there. They got a deep squad, and Houston, of course, is the hottest team in basketball, and they're probably going to, they're sitting pretty comfortable right now, and the real games will start when the playoffs start. So that's still not here yet. So there's a lot going on in sports. Of course, we have our little side action, Hank, on your Masters players against my one guy. That's going to be interesting.
It's in Vegas they have 10 guys against that are listed against Tiger that they put up. Not 5.
I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah.
Talking about the NBA, Golden State has now lost 6 out of the last 9 games. They've got a few guys injured, I know that. But I'm worried about them because they got real competition out west. The one team that I was a little surprised at last night was, Pop's team didn't show up. And they got beat pretty easily. I thought they would play better because they're not tanking. They played a terrible game last night and got blown out. And that's unlike San Antonio. As far as Cleveland's concerned, they stunk last night against Miami. Part of the problem is, you're right. He can't carry the team, particularly when he doesn't have a wing player to go to. And without Love, they don't have a wing player. I know they added some guys in the trade who were okay, but they don't really have a guy without Love. They desperately need him. And without him, they don't win. And, the teams that are tough in the East right now, you got Toronto, who normally doesn't play that well in the playoffs, but they're playing pretty well now. Boston really needs, Kyrie. Without him, they're not going very far. But Philadelphia, they got their number 1 draft pick back, and Philadelphia is playing well right now. The team that's kind of up and down is Indiana. I don't know what to make of that, but that's the way the East sets up right now.
Yeah, close that door. Got a little side action going on here. The NBA is definitely a mixed bag. You do have these tanking teams, and some people are just parlaying these tankers, the teams that aren't really trying. Like, for example, Phoenix, they're not going to show up tonight, but you're not going to lay 10 points against them. But a lot of things going on, Hank. It's great time. We're finishing up the college basketball season. Got a couple good games left. Final 4 down.
Let me ask you one thing before we go, Jim.
Yep.
What do you think about the rule changes, particularly the helmet rule? I think it's going to significantly change the way we watch football, and I think it's. I don't know that I like the rule. I know that head injuries are up, and they're concerned about that. But you no longer can tackle with your head at all. And when you get on the goal line, there are a lot of teams that have defensive set up so that that's the way you stop guys going into the end zone. That's taken out of the game now.
I can't answer the question easily. I have to get into it deeply because there's so many. The grassroots of football starts with the kids, and there's so many parents that are absolutely refusing to let their kids play football anymore because of these concussion problems. The NFL has to do something. I don't know what the right answer is. I really don't. And I can't feel sorry for the NFL. They make a lot of money. They have a very successful product. But they're going to have problems with this concussion issue long term, and they're trying to do everything to avoid it. I don't know that they've come up with the right answer, but I can't blame them for trying. And I don't know if this rules, I'm like you, it doesn't sound like it's going to work. But I don't know what the hell they're supposed to do. You got people that won't let their kids play. You got players telling you that they won't let their kids play. And the league long term is going to suffer tremendously because of that. And the rule changes, I mean, they made some rule changes to the catch. What's a catch? One of the most ridiculous things, you know, we grew up watching football for many years before they got the suits in there making rules that make no sense. What's a catch? We've seen so many times where you and I would say, that's a catch. And they have this thing, and you got to continue with that, and you got to do this, and you got to have it in your left hand and not your right hand. And I mean, I'm just, babbling here, but they have to do something to clean this thing up because they're losing fans. And, for a season long, they have lost fans. And they, clean up the politics out of the game and all that. So they're trying to do things, and I can't blame them for that. I don't know that they got the right answer. Probably not. But I give them credit for trying.
I think the catch rule is good. At least they've clarified it. You know what a catch is now.
I knew what a catch was when I played high school football. So did you.
Yeah.
You catch the ball, it goes over the goal line, it's a touchdown. You catch the ball, you get your feet down, it's a catch. It's, a football move, all that stuff. I mean, to me, it's garbage. But anyway, that's just me. Well, Hank, your picks are up on the site, jimfeist.com. Mine are there as well. I suggest everybody go there and pick them up. We got some great games coming up this weekend. If you haven't watched the NIT, do so, because the rule changes that they have, they're playing 4 quarters. I like it because they're resetting the fouls every quarter, and that makes a difference. They've widened the lane, which means you got more room in the lane, and they put the three-point shot back further, which makes it a little tougher, but it also gives more room to the bigger players underneath, so you have a little bit more big man action. I like it, and I like people trying to make changes, even if they don't work. At least they're trying. And it's kind of, the NIT has kind of been an experimental tournament for a couple of years now, and some of those rules end up in the regular NCAA package going forward. So I hope they incorporate some of them. That's just my opinion, of course. Thank you, Hank. I appreciate it, and we'll talk again on Friday.
All right, Jim. Have a good night.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.